Today, I'm going to share the easiest, simplest, smartest way to pay off your student loans.
Turn up the lights in here, baby. Extra bright, I want y'all to see this. Turn up the lights in here, baby.
Welcome to Wednesday Wisdom with Stacy. This particular Wednesday Wisdom was inspired by this wonderful letter that I got in the mail. This letter states, I'm going to read it because I'm very excited about this letter. It says, "Dear Stacy, enclosed is a copy of the promissory note for the Perkins loan you paid in full." Essentially what that letter says is that one of the 7 student loans that I have that I took out to fund my very expensive, very private college education is now paid in full. And I cannot begin to tell you the amount of satisfaction, happiness, and just excitement I have about being able to take care of this particular student loan and being able to pay off one of my student loans. But the point of this Wednesday Wisdom is because I want to give you the simplest, easiest, smartest way for you to be able to pay off your student loans. And I have 3 steps. The first thing that you have to do is pay your minimum payment on time. I think because it's a student loan and we have bought into this idea that we will have our student loan debts for the entirety of our life, we sometimes don't pay the minimum payment on our student loan or we don't pay it on time, and we assume that because this is a particular debt that's going to be in our lives for a long period of time that it's not going to affect us as much. But the thing of it is that when you chronically make late payments, you become a late payment maker. And when you become a late payment maker, you become a skip payment maker. And when you become a skip payment maker, you become a no payment maker. And if you're not making payments on your student loans, you are not getting rid of your student loan debt. And because our consequences are not as high for delinquency on our student loans, we have a tendency to let those go by the wayside. But if you want to pay off your student loans and you want to do it in the simplest, easiest, smartest way, start by paying your minimum payment on time. So the second thing that you want to do is pay a little bit extra. And when I say a little bit extra, I literally mean a little bit extra. So for example, on this particular loan, my minimum payment, I believe, was about $55 a month. But I paid a little bit extra. If you were to look at my student loan ledger, there's so many payments of like $3.25, $2.67. Because the amount was so small, I didn't personally feel the effects of paying an extra $3.25 on my loan. It didn't feel like it came out of a big chunk of my budget. It probably feels a little bit weird, but I am willing to feel a little bit weird to get my loans paid off. And if that means that my ledger looks like I'm depositing money onto my student loans that I got from a tooth fairy, so be it. The loan is paid off and I am a much happier woman because of it. So I encourage you to pay a little extra and let it be a little extra. If you paid $1 extra a day, that is an extra $30 on your $30 to $31 on your student loan payments every single month. That adds up. And 3, create a trigger with some other thing that you're already spending money on daily. So for example, Susie Orman always says, you know, you spend $5 a day on a latte, stop buying your latte, add that money up, and then put it on your student loan at the end of the week. Well, it's really hard for me to think about putting an extra $25 on my student loans, even though I spend $5 a day on a latte. And most people don't do that, which is why we don't pay off our student loans, but we find the money to get a latte every day. So what I did is I just paired my student loan little extra money with something that I do regularly. So I do like my hazelnut lattes from Starbucks. I do. And it is about $4.75. So every time I get a $4.75 latte from Starbucks, that day or the following day, I have to put $4.75 on my student loans. The simplest, easiest, smartest way for you to pay off your student loans is to 1, pay your minimum payment on time, 2, pay a little bit extra, and 3, create a trigger with some other thing that you're already spending money on daily. As always, if you like this Wednesday Wisdom, please like it right here on YouTube and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to hear more from me so you can learn how to be inspired to live a happy life, come on over to www.stacyflowers.com and give me your name and email address. I look forward to speaking to you all every single week. Thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you next week. Bye. 30 times 12. What is it, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not good at math, so I'm not even going to try to do that calculation in my head right now. But it's a significant amount of money if you're paying your minimum and you're putting a little bit extra on. I take paying my student loans off as a means for me to say to myself that my word is honorable. Because at the end of the day, when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, in my early 20s, these banks and these universities trusted me and they took me at my word and they said, Stacy, you will give us your word that you will pay these student loans. And I exchanged my word for over $150,000. And I mean,